What's up, efforts? It's Taven the Caveman here to chill with you guys. Today we are gonna work on a window, a sash window to be specific, on Cave Art Adventures episode 2020. We're gonna get started. This was a project asked by a friend of mine here. His name is Nerd Cave on TikTok. Give him a follow wherever you are. Go check his TikTok out. Here's some of the tools we're going to need for this. You're going to need at least 10 popsicle sticks. You're going to need a super glue. You're going to need a sanding tool. And you're going to need a cutting utensil. If you have these, that's great. If you don't, these are miter shears. If you don't have those, that's totally fine. One of these stronger, you know, razor blades would definitely work too. A little box cutter type tool. We just gotta make sure we there we go, sheath that sword, homie. You ain't needing that right now. So the design for this is pretty simple, you guys. You guys can always Google these designs or you can draw them out yourself. I decided to do both because, you know, I'm extra. So this is what a sash window design looks like. I wrote down my measurements to help guide you guys through this, so that's what I'm gonna do. And the great thing about this is this is like, you know, to size of what it's gonna come out to. So once we're done, we should be able to place our window right above this drawing, and it should fit. If it doesn't, hey, don't hold it against me. I'm pretty new at this too. So first we're going to need to measure these out to 4 inches. Oh, I guess one of the other tools you're going to need is a ruler. Get your favorite ruler out and, you know, let's get to measuring. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to measure 4 of these sticks to 4 inches exactly. So let's do that. Find that little sweet spot that you can start your cut from, and if you need to, go ahead and measure on both sides. If you feel confident enough to eyeball it and cut it straight through, go ahead and do so. For me, I have these miter shears, and they work perfect for these little projects right here. I tell you what, you just line it up with the blade and you go straight as possible because it does most of the job. I tell you what, after you line it up to your measuring point, come on, boy. Oh, now you want to be difficult. You want to be difficult. Let's do it then. Oh, never mind. You just need a little love. There we go. Give your tool some love. So now that you've cut one of these into shape, you can measure, or you can do what I do, and I just lay it over the other popsicle sticks. Yo hago todo al tanteo. Al tanteo. I got a funny feeling that is not a real word, and I love it. Ooh, we got a comment over here. Pintate. There we go. You're just gonna snap these little round bits off of the way because, you know, we don't need those little round bits. We don't need them. We don't need them. Alright. It's always nice to go ahead and put them next to your ruler too, because, you know, you might be off just by a little bit, and that's something we can always take care of with our sanding tools. That's why we need them. And make sure to get the grade that you need. These are popsicle sticks, so go a little heavy on the sanding. If you can, go to your 120 grade. Now check that out. Will that work better? It does, but it's not as fast as you want it to be. And I like it fast. Fast and sandy and extra dry. That's how I like it. When it comes to sandpaper, right? There we go. Great. Now that you've sanded that excess stick away, you can put it on your good pile. And we're going to repeat this until we have 4 of these. Así se hace. Whoa, whoa, what you call me? Whoa, come back here, pencil. Alright, now that we've successfully done that part, we will, again, lay our popsicle sticks that's already measured out onto the next one and cut. Hold on, did I say 4? I meant 2. We're gonna do 2 of those. We're gonna put those over here, and we're gonna just go ahead and mark these as 4-inch. Just so that we don't have to measure over and over again. People in the Roku world, if you guys can't hear me, I will turn this music down just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. I don't want to get taken out of the groove, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There we go. Now we're gonna move back over here so y'all can see what I'm doing. Alright. This next one's gonna be 3 6/8. So once you made one mark, we're gonna go to 3 6/8 right here. And we're gonna need 2 of these. These are gonna go on the top and bottom. That's 3 6/8 for the top and bottom. Ooh, ooh, where you going? Where you going, mister? Get over here. And then you're gonna measure on your ruler. Perfect. So we're gonna get another popsicle stick. And then we're just going to measure this. I mean, not measure, we're just going to follow that, line it up. And then take the extra little nubs off, because you don't need them. You don't need them. God, I wish it was this simple to cut weight, you guys. Just, you know, just oof, and it's gone. But you gotta put the work into it. Just like this project. Put the work into it, guys. Now you may be wondering, oh, this is so easy for him. It's not. I haven't done this before. This is the first time I've made windows. I do guesstimations. That's what's up, man. That's you're gonna see a lot of that here. So what we're gonna do with these, we're gonna mark them on the back, or whatever side you want to call the back, and then, ooh, and then put them on the other side over here with your good pile. Remember, mark them 3 6/8. All right. Did I say? Do I love making things difficult for myself or what? I sure do. We're gonna grab one of those 3/8 again. I mean 3 6/8 again, and we're gonna trace it on another 2 for the giggles. You know, we're gonna giggle with ourselves right here. Traced, boom. Traced. It's like what I did to the toilet the other day. Oh. Don't hold it against me. I have medical issues. 3 6/8. This will make sense once we get there. Just bear with me. Remember, I'm not perfect, but these windows will be, or else I'll just quit crafting forever, you guys. Nah, I'm joking. I'll probably try it again. Otherwise, how else am I gonna get better at it if I don't keep trying, you know? Dust yourself off and try again. Was that Aaliyah? I think that was Aaliyah, right? Who sang that? Make sure you measure these after you cut them, because then you might have to do some sanding later that you don't want to do. Boom. These are also ready. So mark these suckers 3 6/8. There we go. We're going to do that. We're going to do that like that. They're on that ready pile. Do you remember those 4-inch popsicle sticks that we cut Yeah, we're gonna do 2 more of those. I know, you weren't expecting it, or were you? If you were, then you know me. I like to goof and trick myself sometimes. I'm a real Loki like that. Ooh. So why am I crafting these instead of just 3D printing them? Because my 3D printer's broken. And I need to learn how to make these on my own, you know? I'm a crafter. I like doing stuff by myself, you know, with my own hands. There's a DIY channel. Of course I'm going to craft it before I 3D print it. Is 3D printing cheating? No. Maybe. No, it's not cheating. Alright, this one's a little bit off, so we're just going to go ahead and take this corner off of it with our sanding tool. Alright. And then we're going to mark these 4 inches. And we should be left with where my boys at. Where my boys at. Alright, we got 3. We need a 4th one. So let's get this guy down here. Boom. Boom. Click, click, boom. It's either this is getting really hard to use, or I need to replace the blade because my hands are working too much. Oh, so now you don't want to cut. Wow, I thought we were friends. Oh, there you go. Alright, it cut. Should be left over with a bunch of these little round tips. Just the tips. You can go ahead and throw those away if you have a... Oh, where did I leave my bag? My bag of garbage. Well, looks like I don't have my bag of garbage right now, so I'm just going to use this little Tupperware. So what we've cut so far, just so you guys know, is the tops and sides of these. The 4 inches are going to go on the sides. And our 3 6/8 are going to go on the bottoms here. Just letting you guys know. Wow, this camera sure doesn't catch any lighting. Alright. I kid and I joke about this, but I really hate my camera, you guys. Soon I will get a new camera. It'll be Ultra 4K. You'll be able to see me in 3D. You'll reach to the screen and you'll touch some textures of how good it is. Okay, so the next part is going to be the middle. And so the middle is going to be 3.5 inches. So let's get our ruler. And give it a marking right here and right here. Here and here. Can you sign here and here, please? Remember, line that sucker up. Ooh, there it goes. Bye. I think I gotta go unlock the front door for my husband. Be right back. There's a Pepsi in the fridge if you want it. Alright, door was open, everything's good, the dog got it. Back to this, good, measured at 3.5, that's great. We're only gonna need one of these. We'll put that on the side there. And then the next one is going to be, we're gonna need 1.5 inches of this. Might actually be able to get 2 out of these 4-inch sticks, so let's do that. caving in 3D. That's right. I'm gonna bust out your screen. So I'll make it do what it do. I lost that piece, don't know where that went. Oh well, I'll find it later. Alright, now we got 2 pieces that are 1.5 inches. I'm gonna go a little faster on this. That seems great. Let's sand some of this off. Sand that rough edge off of there. Perfect. Okay, so if you thought we were done cutting, you're wrong. We gotta do some adjustments on these. So first, what we're going to do is, since it's the last pieces that we worked on, we're going to actually measure these into 2/8, and then we're going to split these down the middle. I mean, not split them down the middle, but through those measurements that we just measured. Measured. Go. So this one I am going to need to connect these marks that I just made, one into the other. Now here you can either, you're probably going to need your other blade, your box cutter, and with the most steady and smooth hands, we're just going to go over those measurements. Create a groove so that your box cutter can follow. You don't want it to accidentally slip and then, you know, hit you. That'd be all bad. Sand the edge a little bit. Alright. And that's what this looks like in comparison to that. That's what we're going to do to this one. Then you're left over with something like this. Ooh. I know our friend was the one that asked for this project, but since he's not here to defend himself, like all good friends, we're gonna make fun of him for not being here. How dare you, caveman, not be here? You nerd cave person, you. You're a beautiful soul and you smell like cinnamon. Now we're just gonna drag our blade through there, create a groove. Don't get too crazy with it. These are sharp objects. You don't want no one getting hurt. Okay, we're trying to have fun here. Whoa, easy. Try not to blow your stuff away. And see, at one point, you might do a little goof like I just did. And you know what I just did? Well, that's crazy, because one side looks like it. Yep. Okay, we're going to sand away just a smidgen so that it matches the other side. Now, let's compare these two. Yeah. Alright, great. Now both of these two match. I know, right? It's not that impressive, but hey, we're making a simple window right now. The concepts should carry on to more complex designs, so just keep that in mind. We're learning concepts, and they're not going to really make sense until we get these guys all glued down together. So next we're going to find our 3.5 popsicle stick we cut, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to measure this. We're going to go in 2/8 again. Yes, I know, again. And then on the other side, make sure you're measuring the right side, otherwise you're going to have some loppy lines to follow. After you made your marks, or connected your marks, again, drag that blade through it. Don't press so hard, we're just trying to create a groove. If If you have dull blades, you might have to, but just be careful whatever you're doing with a sharp object at any time. You want to have a good time, not a bad time. I'm pressing down with my ruler. I'm not touching the wood at all. Then we're just going to sand this, get those rough edges out of the way on both sides. There we go. Cool, now we got another piece that's ready. That's great. So what we're going to do next is we're going to grab one of the 4 inches and one of the 3 6/8. Now we're going to cross these at the tips where it will create a triangle. So we're going to overlap them like so. Did I show you guys over here? So we're going to overlap these and then cut them at the corner at the tips. We're going to cut triangles right off of these suckers. So how do I do that? We're going to measure, we're going to line them up, make a little mark right here. So we're going to, we did that, right? We did that. And with our miter shears, we're going to turn that. There we go. Now that we've made our cut with our cutting utensil, we're going to sand all that extra stuff right on off. Who needs that? Alright, we're basically going to do the same measurement to this one right here. We're going to reverse our miter shear. And we're going to cut that corner right on off. And again, we're going to sand the excess right on off. And now when we connect these, they should square up. I'll hold these together for y'all to see over here. Boom. Squared off, right? Now we're going to do that with another 4 inch and another 3 6/8. We're going to lay it over. Mark where they meet in the corners over here, in the inside corner. That's on both of them. If you want to be a little extra like I am, we're going to use our popsicle stick to make a straight line from one corner to that mark we just made on both sticks. And then we're going to cut the corner pieces right on off. Let's switch, rotate our miter shears. And then slice that corner off. And again, we're going to use our sanding tool because our sanding tool is our friend and here for a reason. You're not just going to put the sanding tool on the side and ignore him like the redhead child. If you got the tools, use them. Cut and sand. Boom. Cut and sand. A lot of that happening. Now when you put them together, they should square off again. Now that we've done that, you're going to do it again to the other 2 pieces that haven't been done yet. Overlap them at the tips. Make your marks on both of them. Right. use one stick to line up your marks, and use the other stick to line up the marks on the other side. There you go, guy, you're getting it. Then we're going to cut those corners off with our miter shears or your other cutting utensils, whatever you got. I have both the miter shears and the box cutter, so obviously I'm going to use the one that's a little easier for me to work with. If you guys don't have these miter shears, you can look these up on the big A, and ends with Zon, you know what I mean? I think they're only like $16, so these are pretty cool to use for woodworking and for when you have like moldings for doll houses that are used for diorama making. You can also use these on those, and they were pretty awesome. They definitely they're a must if you make dioramas, I'll say that. Okay, so I got one more corner to cut off. There we go. Okay. And now we almost have a full frame to work with. Yeah, that's key. That's hella key. Alright, so those other two pieces that haven't been cut yet, we're gonna work on that. Again, we're gonna overlap them at the corners, make a triangle. We're gonna mark our spots on both sticks. Ooh, gotta pop our neck a little bit because that feels good. And then we're gonna connect our mark to the corner, connect our mark to the corner, and you guessed it, we're just gonna cut that sucker off. Cut him out of your life like you don't need him. There you go. Yes, guys, I am gonna be this weird all the time. You have to get used to it. Alright. Now that we've cut that off, always sand the rough edges right on the heck off, because yeah. And now you should have a whole frame to work with. Alright, cool. Now we've made a frame. That's the bottom layer. What I shall do is I'm going to move these over here on top of the picture just to see if, like, you know, it looks like the picture that I drew. Just about. Cool. It fits on that frame. It would be weird if you weren't this weird. I agree. I agree. I like being weird. Be weird with me. Okay, so I am noticing I might have... You know what? We'll get to that part when we get to that part. I won't worry about it too much right now. So the next things we're going to do is we're going to grab a 4-incher again and another one of these 3/8, right? Or actually, pretty much the two 4-inchers and the 3 6/8 that are left, we're going to measure these to be 2/8 instead of the 3/8 that they are already. So we're gonna do a little bit of measuring on these, and you guys can speed through those yourself. I don't know when you're watching this, if you're watching this with me, doing it at home. If you feel like I didn't give you enough time to prepare for this, I get it. But, you know, this video will be, you'll be able to replay this video on the tubes. So find me there under Cave Art Adventures. Yo, what is up with TikTok? Being like, verified to continue. Bro, you see my ugly face. Like, why you acting like that, TikTok? Here's how I know they suppress my stuff. They're probably like, oh, this guy's back again. Look at him. What a fool. Who knows? y'all remember when TikTok almost is how TikTok is being forced to sell? Probably not gonna happen, but you know, for a site that wants our support and all that, they sure aren't supporting us. But hey, that's for another day to discuss. The silliness of TikTok's hypocrisy. Back to measuring, of course. 2/8 all around. Measure those lines, and I'm measuring and lining up just so I can kind of speed through this a little bit. Oh, did I marked them on both sides. Alright, not gonna get away from that. There we go. And make sure you're measuring the right line. You don't want to accidentally measure the wrong one, right? That'd be a little silly of us. That'd be like so silly. Like, I've never done that before. I've never had to restart a project because I mismeasured something. What? No, never. What? Okay. So that last one that you worked on, that's the first one we're gonna use our blade on. Your box cutter will definitely help a lot more in this one. And again, we're just dragging it through. Don't need to put all that pressure on it. These are popsicle sticks, so they're just, you know, light material, light enough to where just putting a little bit of weight on your blade is going to help achieve what we want. And so this was a 3 6/8. We're going to put that on the side over here, and then move on to the next one. Try and line your ruler to your marks as close as possible. There we go. Once you create a groove on your popsicle sticks, then you can put down some pressure. Sand those rough edges right off. Forgot to do this one, I think. Move on to the next one. Oh. And I'm over here being weird. Okay. Ruler, line, both lined up. Boom, there we go. Alright, maybe not. Now, there we go. Yes. Yes, child. Yes. Okay. Once you create that groove, you can start putting some pressure down. Sometimes it takes a few runs with the blade for it to create that groove. Don't be discouraged. Don't rush. You're working with sharp tools. You never want to rush with those. Are you having fun? Alright. Lined up on both ends, and then we're just going to drag our box cutter through that. There we go. And it splits all on its own. And again, yes, this is a must. You have to sand off the rough edges. Why? Because I say so. Alright, cool. Now we got 2/4 and 2 3/6 all lined up. I don't know how many people are actually interested in watching the work, but for those people on TikTok, sorry, my camera was aiming more at my face just because I like to look at myself. I'm vain, I know. Every song is about me. Yo, J-Boys Toys, what's up? I got a text message. I wonder if that's from my producer. Nope, it's my sister. Okay. All good. Howdy. I said howdy. She said hi. And if you are a fortune teller, or you saw where this was going, and you thought, I bet you he's going to corner those off. You are correct. So let's do that. Just like we did for the other popsicle sticks, we're going to overlap them and make our marks at the corners. Make sure they make a triangle when you overlap them. And then from then on, you can be extra and use your popsicle stick to connect your mark to the corner. Make sure it's the right corner. You don't want to just, well, really, there's only one corner you can connect it from there, because otherwise you'll be doing something weird. Alright, so with your miter shears or your cutting utensil, whatever that may be, go ahead and cut those corners off after you mark them. There we go, guy. Yeah, just like that, guy. Looking for some awesome toys in the wild today. Oh, you are? Dude, what are you looking for? I saw that well, not that I saw, but a friend of mine, PG2, let the group know that the Punisher 2-pack with... Actually, I don't recall the other guy that's with him. But anyways, that 2-pack is up for pre-order. So, now that you've cut those, they should create a triangle like that. And that's what we're going to do for the next one. We're going to overlap these again to create a triangle, make our marks on the corners where they meet from the inside, and then use those same sticks to align our marks with our corners. Boom. And then use your cutting utensils. You're looking for the G.I. Joe Beachhead. Nice. I haven't bought a G.I. Joe in forever, man. I was going to use G.I. Joes as an army builder, but when I went back to Ross, because they had like a gazillion of those Tiger Force figures, they were all gone. They were all gone. So I was like, dang, who got all of these? Like, did everybody buy one individually? No. The guy at the flea market bought them and is selling them at full price. So I was just like, oh, there goes my opportunity. Dang it. But, yeah, that's my little rant about my G.I. Joes. Alright, now you should have another corner ready. And you know what we're going to do after these corners get done. There we go. That's where that goes. Now we're going to take our two others. We're gonna switch one of these out for the other, and then we're gonna do the same thing again. Make your marks at the corners from the inside. Use the stick to connect your mark to the corner. Right on. Try not to... There we go. I can't seem to get my hands on the He-Man collector. Ooh. I held a GF on the Hasbro. On the Hasbro Cantina, but went all in on the G.I. Joe Rattler. That thing is sick. The Rattler is looking amazing. I heard the other nerds talking about how they want that Rattler to be re-released in different colors, and I agree with them. Wouldn't it be awesome to have multiple colors, or at least the options of multiple colors from the get-go? That'd be pretty dope of Hasbro to do. What's your guys' favorite G.I. Joe? I'm pretty curious because I'm a novice when it comes to some action figure lines, like G.I. Joe. Like I said earlier, I was just gonna collect them to make army build. But I'm curious. What do you guys think is like your favorite G.I. Joe? And should I get it? Alright, again we just overlapped our square ends, and we're going to use the sticks themselves to line our mark to the corner. You can probably freehand that, but just because I like straight lines, you know your boy's got to go with that. Not offended, Coach Scoob. Oh, I missed something. Is it offensive to G.I. Joe fans to say I buy them at Ross and use them for fodder and accessories? Ooh. Marvel Legends needs to get on G.I. Joe's level. Yeah, maybe if Hasbro ever owned like the rights to Marvel and stuff, they would give them that much attention. But because all the Marvel superheroes, all their costumes are predominantly drawn as like spandex, you know, they don't have that much texture or detailing them to them, that they're not gonna give them that extra detail that MCU characters have. If you've noticed, the MCU characters get all the love, and by love I mean all the cool detail and all that stuff to their costumes, because that's how they're made. That's how they're portrayed in the movies. And I just don't think Hasbro is going to remix the designs that we already are familiar with from the comics, because that's where they get their, you know, most of their inspiration for whatever character they're using. I think there's a few select characters that they've tweaked themselves just so that they can fit the narrative of an action figure, or if that makes sense. But yeah, I just don't see Hasbro doing that much to their Marvel line. Okay. So where am I at? Where am I at? Where my dogs at? Is this going to overlap or not? I hope what I said makes sense. I'm not trying to like come down on what you're saying. I'm just, for a moment there, I took it way serious. Okay. I like the retro carded Joes, Gun-Ho, Baroness, Scarlet, and Klitsch with that vamp. Ooh, Clutch, my bad. Yo, the vamp looks pretty awesome too, man, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's why I get them also with Coach Scooby. I mean, it makes sense too, you know, there's no shame in getting action figures at a discount, guys. Like heck, I'll even get some of those bootleg action figures that you see in flea markets, you know, like the Mexican flea markets, when it's like Captain Spider Space. Like, I'll get those if they're decent looking, you know, if they do their job by inspiring imaginative, like, fun, then I'm all there for it. Like, remember being a kid, not imagine it. Remember being a kid and seeing those action figures and how much you wanted them anyways. Yeah, there's a few times when you were like, that's not Hulk, that's El Bulk. Why do I want El Bulk? I want El Hulk. And then, you know, like, there's a few times that, you know, that happens when you're a kid. But for the most case, if action figures inspire you to use your imagination and create a world where you can escape to, they're doing their job. They're doing their job. Super Ranger heroes? Yes, exactly. You know what I mean. Monsters, thank you for those gifts. Really appreciate that. But but yeah, I think you know what I'm trying to say, you know? Like, for a long time there, I couldn't wrap my head around why they did that as an adult, and then it just took me remembering as a kid. That didn't bother me. It bothered me that I couldn't get them. You know? Playing with stuffed animals, Hot Wheels, and action figures of all scales, and I'm over here worried about that kind of stuff as a, like, you know what I mean? It was just a little silly. But we older now, and I understand some of us don't want our imagination to work as hard as it used to. But our imagination's a hell of a thing, you know? Never lose it. Never lose your imagination. Oh, the tiny dinies. Thank you, thank you. I can't seem to figure out why Hasbro can't get cool G.I. Joe has been hidden so well. Get cool? Like G.I. Joe. Oh. You know, we speculate that there's a few reasons for that. Like, one, Hasbro doesn't own the properties to the Marvel characters, you know? Like they own the IP for G.I. Joe. So making the G.I. Joe's their best one because they own it and most profitable one makes sense from a business aspect. And I don't know which had it first, whether it was G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends that had the butterfly joints and the most articulated body to offer. But for sure, it's you know, it's gonna take time for Hasbro, I mean for Marvel to catch up with them. Do they own Transformers too? I think they do, actually. I think they own Transformers and G.I. Joes. Okay. So I need to make sure I got these on the right side. There we go. 4 to 4. There we go. Okay, so now that we have all of our pieces cut, I want to double check and make sure that this is properly spaced. Is that? Move you out of the way. Yeah, this should be. Yep. Alright, cool. So now that we've cut all of our pieces, so we've done this in less than an hour, right? Let's move our utensils out of the way for a second here. Now, because popsicle sticks are kind of flimsy, you know, we need to use the proper glue for these. I thought it was going to be okay to use this crazy glue, but I've changed my mind while I was working with this. I did a tester earlier with the crazy glue, and it did not work. It actually just ended up seeping into the wood, and it was just kind of a lost cause. This next part that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do this gluing over some wax paper. So if you have wax paper at home, try and get some of that out for us to use. If you do not, it's totally fine, no worries. I just use the wax paper because it's harder for the glue to, you know, to glue onto wax paper than it is for like regular paper, which is what I have right there. But we're going to take our bottom square, the base of it, which was the popsicles that are not 2/8, right? And we're going to glue them in the corners here. So let's get the glue that I am going to use really quick for you guys to see. I have another one right here that's unopened. Is the E6000 glue. And again, whoops, you guys know me, I'm kind of sensitive to chemical smells, so please make sure to have your windows open. I have my window open and the fan blowing, so I won't be suffering as much. But if you are also sensitive to chemical smells, just keep that in mind. And all we want to do is just glue these edges, these corners, lay that down, and move the dry piece to the glued down one. Alright. And now, while that settles, let me check some of these messages. Forgive me for not seeing that. Super Ranger stuff. The Tiny Dinies again, thank you for those. I bought the Duke one with the bike because it has a Gatling gun. Dude, that bike looks pretty dope. I really want some more vehicles for my action figures. Do they own Transformers too? I believe I answered that. Imagination is somewhat lost for some who we didn't have the internet and instant access to movies. Yeah, I totally get that. I make the joke of like, imagination, why do I need that? I have the internet like all the time when like I'm forced to overthink about something. And it's kind of crazy because it's kind of true, and it sucks. But you know, with the lack of imagination, the people that are still thriving with their imagination, they create stuff for us, like, you know, the HasLabs and the toys that we have nowadays. Because remember, some of these toys started with like no articulation, to like 5 points of articulation, to now where there's over 20 points of articulation on your average action figure. we had to imagine for sure. My kids are too quick to say they're bored. I'd be put to the yard work ASAP if they ever said that. Yeah, yeah. Saying you're bored at home, man. You're about to go do some chores. I'll tell you where you never want to say that. You never want to say that in a dojo. My sensei would have us running basics, right? And then I would say that just to kind of like see where it would go. I was a fool. I was a fool, and I think I learned my lesson real quick. Is that the same as parchment paper, right? I'm not sure. I think it might be. It's the waxy type of stuff that you that stickers come on, you know, so like you can like take it off. Like, I don't know if it is the same. Pretty much. Thanks, Jay. What brand was that low rider beef scent? It's Mattel. I think. Let me check really quick. Jay is asking about this lowrider, this WWE lowrider. Yeah, you can see right here it says El Mattel. A friend of mine named Dross Beef, you guys know him in the Roku world, sent me this lowrider for me to repaint for him. That's going to be a fun repaint. I'm pretty sure I'm going to start that after I paint that display piece that I made, and after I box some stuff up and clean my work area. I'm going to redo my whole work room, and that's going to be fun. Because cleaning is fun. Yay. What you making? TFW, I am making a window, a sash window to be more specific. I think that's what it is. At least that's what Google said it's called. So I'm gonna trust Google, you know, just like, hey, whatever, it's Google. Alright, so what we did to this one, right? We glued the corners. We're gonna do the same thing to this other one, to these other 4 sticks. Now that we've glued that, I do have an extra piece of paper here that I'm not using. So just because I want to use this wax paper, one, I don't want to go looking for my other wax paper, and now that I've glued that down, it's fine. Okay, if I could just turn back time. Now we're going to do the same thing for this. 4 pieces. Oh, for these 4 pieces, my bad. And this is going to be the second layer that's going to go on top of the one that we already glued down. Why 2 layers? Why not? Why not 2 layers? So we're going to place the glued piece down, and we're going to move the dry ones to the corners, and then we're going to glue the leftover. Okay, I'm going to put that down, and now we're going to push the other ones onto this one. There you go. Nice and snug. Yeah, I like that, guys. Yeah. Hey, bro. What's up, TFW? I answered. Or are we saying hey, bro, to someone else? Okay. So I'm gonna give these a second to dry, right? I was gonna go ahead and move forward with these other 2 pieces, but first I really need to make sure that this is the right measurement that I need. Just, you know, just because. So hold up. Hold up, geez, damn. Oh, that's right, I already. What I'm worried about is there being a little bit of space between this middle stick and this frame on both the top and bottom. So I'm going to wait for these to dry before I glue them together, and then make sure that that is the right measurement that I need. If not, I did cut another one that is slightly longer, and if that one's too short, I'll just use the longer one. But first, like I said, gotta let this dry a little bit. And I was speaking to you. Hey, I was lagging earlier. Did I miss what you say you were making? Oh yeah, you might have missed it. I'm making a sash window. Here, I'll show you. Ah! Good thing I had the cap on that soda. That would have sucked. So again, on today's episode of Cavemann Adventures, we are creating a sash window. You see here? It's a basic design, but a friend of mine asked me to make a window. He didn't tell me any specific thing besides popsicle sticks. So I looked up some windows. This was the most basic design that I found, which if I don't know how to make something basic, I feel like I'm going to have a harder time making something more difficult. So I went with this. I'll show you Roku over here. But so far I've made the frame for it, the second frame, because I'm doing a few layers, and now I'm waiting for that to dry up a little bit so that I can glue them together, you know. But yeah, just waiting. The E6000 glue dries pretty quickly, so we're not going to be waiting too long, but still I do gotta give it some grace time to connect a little more, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, why don't we check these comments over here. He's making a window, you to Nerd Cave. Yes, yes. Need to head out. Hey, nos vemos. Cuídate, señor. I'll catch you on the next episode, guys. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be. I guess I'll just chit chat for a second here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be on next week, just because I'm gonna need some time to clean the whole room out. Like I'm thinking of taking stuff down from the walls and like redoing the walls, repositioning this table, moving moving my dresser full of action figures, and I'm gonna see if I can talk my husband into letting me move the piano out of here. Because it's not being used in here, and I have a work table in the living room, and it's not very fun for him. So I'm thinking of just, you know. Oh shit! I didn't even notice. We need to get a refreshment. So yeah, that's probably why I won't be on live too much. I might even just go on live to, like, you know, show the whole process, but I don't know. When I tipped over my bottle earlier, all the carbonation left, so now I'm just drinking flat soda. Alright. What's up, fools? Did you guys dry up enough? Yeah, you know I like it dry. Alright, so these 4-inchers go over here. And, okay, cool. Let's see one with the measurements. That is not always true. I know people that can make stuff highly detailed but can't do the basic version. Fair enough. To be honest, I think I said it earlier a couple of times, I've never made windows before, not out of scratch. Yeah, I usually end up buying the windows from like Hobby Lobby or I 3D printed them when I did have my 3D printer working. But yeah, looking up the windows, I thought I wanted to do a project that I could finish, like that I could start and finish in one whole show, just so that I wasn't like keeping people anticipated to, you know, for like the finished product. This one went pretty well. It's going pretty well. These are pretty dry now, you know, so I can move on to the next part. And I still have a whole hour. So like, yeah, there was a few reasons to why I wanted to do the simple one. Okay. Oh, I thought you've been making them all this time. I'm trying to find a diorama with a window on it. Like, if you see back over here, all I did was I cut the shape of a window out. I didn't like actually make a window, you know what I mean? And that's one. And the other one for my giant alleyway that I have, I ended up 3D printing that window. So like, you know, use the tools if you have them. That's all I'm gonna say. I didn't have the know-how on how to make a better window than that back then, but as I'm explaining, this is a DIY channel. I have to learn how to craft this or that every once in a while, and this is a fun challenge. Like I said, for me, I need to learn the basics before I can do something more exotic or more difficult. I did sketch up a whole different window. I want to make this window too, but that was going to be if I had enough time for it. I still need to finish this and, you know, sand it and paint it, and I hope to finish that all in one video. But that's enough of me ranting. This dried up enough. We're gonna place this over this guy. Oh yeah, you look so freaking good right there. Alright, so now that I know that these two are dry, here, I'll bring this forward. There's some layers right there. Now I gotta glue these guys together. So let me get to that part. And I know we're gonna do some more chilling right after this, but I gotta do this, you know, I gotta do this. What's the last project you guys were working on? I did make that video earlier of my wheel of props. Yeah boy, it's back. The wheel of props has come back with a vengeance. I know what I want to make out of the 3 options that I gave myself in those spins. I don't know if you guys watched the video or not. The 3 options were a hidden gun table, like, you know, like, yeah, a table that's hiding a gun. A cracked safe, or what was that third one? A crown jewels display. So like, which one would you guys want to see me make? Out of those 3 options, I feel like they're all pretty cool options. Somebody said if I made all 3 of them, I would have a Fortnite display. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, eventually they're all gonna get made, right? Because eventually all my ideas are gonna get made. I just haven't made them all yet. Okay. Can you repeat them? Sorry, I heard crown jewels. A crown jewels display, not for your, but for like the crown jewels, you know what I mean? And so, right, the crown jewels display, a cracked safe, or a hidden gun table. Like a table that's hiding a gun with a hidden cabinet, you know what I mean? Something like that. Okay, so this layer is gluing and it's drying. drying. Okay, so let's see if I like crack save. Bro, that'd be dope if I could pull that off. I definitely would, man. All those three are kind of new to me. I've made tables before. I've made a diamond display before. I haven't made a cracked safe before or anything like that. So I'm wondering what kind of materials would be best for that itself. Okay, so I was right to think this piece was a little too short, so we'll put that aside over here. And now we're going to get that extra piece that I cut out. And for those that don't know how long that is, let me place this on top over here. And then let me make this mark. And once I cut this off, I'll give you the proper measurements for that. Let me place it in here again just to make sure it does fit. Alright, cool. So when I make my marks, and I'll show you in a second here, when I make my marks, I always cut outside of the line, not in. I'll give you an example of that because I always need to leave a little bit of space for me to sand away the extra space, you know, instead of cutting it too short and having to make a whole new cut, or having to cut a whole new piece. Alright, perfect. Now that is measured perfectly, it's gonna fit. This piece is 3.5 inches, which is what the original measurements set to do. It's just that I must have sanded a little bit too much off that other piece. So, okay, so the measurements are the same, 3.5. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna need my ruler, pardon me. Just to remind myself at 1.5. Wait, was that right? The inside, yeah, from the inside. I gotta measure in here. I forgot to do that part earlier. But, you know, this part isn't too awkward for me not to be able to measure like this on top of the project itself, so that's totally fine. Let's flip it and do the same measurements in here, which is at 1.5. You go in 2/8, make those two marks. And so you guys can see, these two marks are what I just measured up. And that's where that middle piece will go. Sorry if I missed any. I like the crack save. Right. Alright. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our glue. And we're going to just dab it right there. This glue works pretty well, so you don't have to use a lot. They'll be taking advantage of it now, guys. Okay, we only gotta. Never mind, I'm not gonna finish that. Okay. So this is what we have so far. You could technically say this is done, but I did a sash design, so I gotta include the ones in the middle. Now, what would be awesome? What would make this look like more like a window for you guys? Yo, what's up, No Name? If you answered at home that having some sort of glass or plexiglass in there would make it even more window looking, you're right. I have some of that material around here, but because I don't expect everyone to have the same materials that I do, I didn't include that on the list. As soon as I'm done with this tutorial, or with this video, I'm going to add that after I paint it, because, well, you'll see. For the plexiglass, I think it's called plexiglass, right? I'm going to have to sand it to make it look a little weathered. Unstable connection might affect viewers. Oh no! That looks perfect. Thank you. Heck yeah. Heckin' yeah. So let's see what measurements I have to follow from this side. Where are you at? 1, 2, 5/8. Okay. So that's 1 and 5/8 up in here. And 5/8. And then we're going to do 2 right there. Wow. Make sure it's the same measurement from the other side so that I'm not. Okay. What was that again? I might be looking at this at a different angle. I am. Now that I'm directly over it, I can see that it needs to be moved just a smidgen up. Just a smidgen. Right. Make sure I measure from the top, because that's where I measured from on the other side. That's how you'll get more aligned work. So that was at 1 and 5/8. And then you go in 2/8. Boom! An apple pie cooling off the window plane. I like that. Hey, I think I can craft that. Or at least I can get my husband to cook it and say that I did it. Okay, so what we're going to do here. So, because I'm going to have to glue this piece. Shoot, hold on. There we go, this is what I'll do. I'm putting this bottom piece on down here so that I can hold the other end right there. Yes, so I can hold it up and not fall. I almost forgot to do my other measurements. So again, we're going to measure from the top, which is what we measured from on the other side. And we're going to keep that going. 5. Make sure we measure again, even though we're that close. Yep, okay, it's cool. Alright. Now with, if you take away all my yapping, we could have done this in less than an hour. But of course, I'm trying to, I'm trying to hang out. I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to hang out at the same time. So if you think that this is how long it's going to take you, you might be wrong. If you're in the mode, if you're zenning through it, your cuts, all that jazz, then you might even do it in a shorter time. Okay. We got big fingers because we're behemoths, so we're just going to let it do its thing. We're going to press down. That's why we have that extra piece of wood right there, so it doesn't go any lower than that. Boom, that's one side. And again, you could technically say that it's done in this fashion too. We've seen windows that have that split with the longest window and the other window split into two like that. But because I'm going with the sash design, we got to do the cross in the middle, right? Right. Because our word is our mother effing bond. So one thing that I'm kind of nervous about is that this piece, yep, I knew it. So what I was worried about is this piece being a little too long and not fitting in there, so we're going to sand a little bit off of it just so that it has an easier time fitting. Good. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and apply some glue to the tip. Just the tip. And then we're gonna marry these two suckers. Boom. Boom shakalaka laka. Alright. Okay, so we've made our window. Once this completely dries and it's a little sturdier, I will use a 10 out of 10 by TFW. That's what's up, homie. Thank you so much. Once this is fully dry and a lot more, you know, sturdy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the edges just so that they're flush and, you know, one side isn't protruding, even though they seem to be pretty evened out. Okay. Yes. Give it the old Matt Murdock. That's when you run your finger through the top. Yeah. See, over here, this piece is going to need a little sanding. These edges might need a little sanding too. You can see just the tiniest little imperfections. Tiny little ones. But yeah, that's how you make a sash window out of popsicle sticks. And again, to level this sucker up, we're gonna add plexiglass, or actually, wait a minute. Where's that? I need to go into my scary shed and get. Okay, hold on. Let me start this thought over again. You know how we all have boxes of action figures that we've already opened? And I'm talking about, you know, with like the windows on them. We're gonna use some of that plastic. I know not everybody has all the materials that I have, but if you're a toy collector and you're making this at home, you definitely have a box or two in the closet. It's just it's just the thing when you're a toy collector, right? So we're gonna use that plastic window to create the glass that's gonna go in here. And because we already have the measurements on the paper, I already know what I'm gonna need. You guys are gonna have to give me just a second. I'll be right back. Looks like we found our casualty. So our Master Mordo from what was it again? Multiverse of Madness. You're gonna have to. You are tribute for this. So anybody at home that collects action figures, go ahead and get yourself one of these empty boxes. So we're gonna use this front window. I guess technically I don't need to take that out, but I do need to measure. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do some clean measurings with my pen. Oh yeah, I probably need to know what those are first. I'm gonna flip it. We're gonna flip it. I know, right? I know. That's 3 by 3 by 3/8. 3 by 3/8. Cool. Move this window up here. Thank you. Move the paper over here. Give myself some nice working space. You know what? It's gonna work a lot easier. There you go. I had a marker around here somewhere, but you know, it's fine. Whoa. Need to make sure these are straight cuts, otherwise it's gonna look a little wonky. Buddy, relax there. Am I just gonna have to cut you off? It's not that easy to work with this, with all this stuff on it, so sorry for all that. You know me, I'd be extra, so we're gonna just stop that for a second. We're gonna... God, what's he doing? No! There we go. I just need a flat surface to work on. Okay, all that extra working for what? What? Cut these corners off so I can make this a flat surface, because make things easy for yourself. You don't have to torture yourself trying to get that going. The inhumanity, why? Dang, it looks like this is the 25th you've made. It's yo, that's what's up, man. I really appreciate that comment. I like that. It gave me the confidence to make more. It is awesome. 3 and 2. Make sure this sucker is 3 and 2 also. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The GI collector up in here. Alright, some firm cuts with that. We're gonna line these two suckers up. Now I did cut this a little bit bigger than what I needed, just in case just in case, you know? Okay. Oh. No, fool, stay still. Yes, yes, good. One more cut and I should have this. Okay. Now we don't need this piece. We can toss that to the corner. Now let's look at this. Is it almost there? Okay, so this side goes on that side. That's fine. That's totally fine. Oh, I should have given myself a little bit more to work with. But that's okay. That's okay. It's the first one. We're not gonna get worked up about it. I sure do tell myself that all the time. I feel like I am gonna get worked up about it. Okay. Huh. Did I just ruin that? I think I did, you guys. Hold on. Give me a sec. Yeah. Yeah, I did. What I think I need another one, you guys. I'll tell you why. Looking at it now, when I place the plastic over the window, what I could do is, well, first I'll show you how I messed up. It's a little too short from this direction, right? But once I flip it over here, there's a little more than I need if I'm just gonna place it on the back. So I have options now. Here, if I place it from the back, it's going to be okay, right? But the corners are going to be a little bit wonky. They might bow, they might curl in, they might curl out. You know what, since this is the first one, I'm just going to go with what it looks like with the window and the back. Just so that I don't complicate this and overthink it and, you know, all that jazz. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that piece back. I'm going to... Whoop. I'm going to make sure these are the right lines that I want to cut. Yes, child. You guys remember that line from the Deadpool movie? How can you not? Because when he's talking about dog pool. Also, there should have been way more animal pools in there. I wanted to see panda pool, squirrel pool. Just saying, missed opportunity. Make sure it's the right line that we're aligning before we cut into this even more. Okay. now we cut the excess stuff off. Let's move some of our tools out of the way, our glue, our miter shears, the extra wood. Bring this frame back. Okay. Is this the right side? I think so. Boom. Now it's a window, guys. And I love it. For my first time, I love it. Yeah, it's really nice. I dig it. I hope you dig it. And can you dig it? That's cool. One of the things that I do need to do though before I start adding anything to it is I need to paint this. Johnny was like a brother to me. I dig it. So you knew Johnny? You got that kid murdered. Kid, he's like 50. Ah, snap. So another another thing that I can do to help secure this even more, to be honest, is what if I make it to where you can tell which is the top and the bottom instead of just holding it and rotating it one way or the other? What can we do to do that? Well, we can add extra pieces here on the bottom or the top that will give that away. So I think we're going to get another popsicle stick, maybe 3 or 4. We're going to put this clear plastic on the side over here. Hopefully we won't lose that. So really what I'm trying to do here now, this is me being extra, the window is done. Technically this is all we wanted to build today, but now we're just going to add some extra stuff to it because we can. Okay? We're going to measure the inside space, which is 1.5 inches. Great. And that's 1.5 inches on both of these. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get ourselves 1.5 inches, 2 1.5 inch pieces out of this. So you go to 1.5 and then a 3. You're going to cut these off. We're going to cut this in the middle and then we'll sand those. Sandos. Besides, you know what he was doing to get to the budget? Yeah, that was such a good line. I think my favorite line in that whole movie, well, one of them is, there's too many good lines and one-liners. The Honda Odyssey. Finish the sentence. That was probably like the funniest freaking thing I laughed at for a while. It was great. That's why we love ya. All the extra effort you put into your work. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. So right now I'm making sure that these two pieces fit in here flush. Oh, look, see, so that needs a little sanding. Let's get our sanding. Let's get sandy with it. Okay, do you fit now? You do fit. Great. So, now that those two pieces fit there, they're not just there for show. We're going to do a little bit of a... How about a little groove design? Will that work? Do I want that though? That's the real question. Do I really want that there? Okay, I do want that there. I do, I swear, I swear. Okay. But I don't want them to be that big. So, again, you guessed it, we're going to go in. We're going to make these 2/8 thick. We're going to do the same for the other one. We still have some time to kill, so, you know, after we made the window, we're just going to spruce it up a bit. You're gonna live! Say it! So did you, I don't know if you're a fan of Screen Watch. I really like them. I feel like a lot of the things that they say, I'm like a couple of brain cells behind, you know, thinking. Like, one of the things that I do recall saying before I heard or watched any video talk about this theory is that Scarlet Witch is still alive in the MCU. When they go into the Void and Deadpool and Wolverine finally make it to the, like, you know, to the lair where Gambit, Elektra, and Blade are, as you're shown that scene when he's like waking up, if you notice on the ceiling, they're actually in, well, the Scarlet Witch. Not in the Scarlet Witch, but they're in the lair in the Scarlet Witch that we saw in the Multiverse of Madness. It's that same statue of her that they show first, and then they pan down. I saw that the second time I watched it is when I caught it, and I thought to myself, there she is. She's gonna come back in one way or another. Or at least the Darkhold. Oh, you did. Nice. I like it. Or like it, although. So we're going to, there we go. We're going to differentiate the top from the bottom in this manner. Now that we have these two up here, we're going to glue those suckers down. And then we're going to do a little something different for the bottom. Yes, this is the top. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited. And they were trying to link it to the new Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom, saying how she's gonna, one way or another, right? So here's why I think it's important that they do link that. If they're gonna go with that direction and all that, I think it's important that they do link Dr. Doom to Wanda's return in one way or another, because now that all this time has passed and Wanda has had the chance to express herself through, like, you know, because she became kind of a villain because Darkhold took over her. Her original nemesis or bad guy to her was Iron Man, or at least the face of Iron Man, you know, Tony Stark. So if she ends up having to, like, I'm trying to say that now she'll have the chance to actually take action against the face of Tony Stark's face, with the powers that can equal his, you know, in one way or another. That bedroom woke up in was the Hulk's Yeah, from Ragnarok. Yo! What's up, caveman? I made your window, fool. I don't know if you're still in here. Right, so anyways, I think it's just going to be poetic that she gets to face off Tony Stark in one manner or the other. Even if it's Doctor Doom now. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip this, right? We're going to flip it. And then we're just going to mark this sucker right here. We're going to add some layers to this fool, because, you know, layers. And then we're going to take the tips off of this. Ooh. There we go. And we're gonna glue that down. Oh my god, my neck. My neck. I don't know if you guys... Are you guys excited about Agatha the Harkness? Obviously, if you've been keeping up with my shenanigans, I am. I love witches. Yo era un brujo en otra vida. No, more like a wizard because, you know, like a sorcerer, I mean, because a sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. Think about it. Sam was onto something. Think about it. So I added another popsicle stick up here. I can show you guys the layers. Now there's 3 layers of sticks. Yes, it is different from the bottom. I hope you can tell. Or will this be the bottom? This can always be the bottom, right? Why not? Let me cover this glue because I can already smell that and I don't like it. Pardon me. Press those. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slide back down, buddy. Slide back down. There you go. See, another thing that we can add to this, if we're going to keep adding layers, what kind of layers are going to make sense to go into this? Well, a border would make sense, right? And what I mean by that is doing a little bit of this action. So why don't we do that? Let's do that, shall we? I feel like that's going to make it look pretty cool. Just like any type of art, layers always make something look way better. Whether it be layers of paints, layers of this or that, details, all that good stuff. Layers. You know, it'd be easier if I just measured this guy out. Where are you at? You're at 4 inches, right? 4 inches it is. I'm gonna pop 4 inches off of this. Okay, we got a little bit more to work with, so let's just give ourselves some grace. There we go. We are at 346. Right now we're doing extra work. We could have painted this, but you know, I saw an opportunity to spruce this up from what I originally planned it to be like. So, and this is all out of popsicle sticks. Why haven't I tried this sooner? You that way? You're kind of crafty way? Is what they'll say about me. Yes, sir. Hey, that's that way. He's crafty, fool. That's just the way. Oh, dang. That went flying. That's what's up. Just, I think we only need 2 4-inchers, right? 1, 2. Wait a minute. Oh, you weren't. Okay, so I see my mistakes now. Making sure this fits all the way there. Alright, we're gonna need another one of these fellers. Yo, I know it's just us two in here, but hella thank you for hanging out with me, man. It's been pretty fun making this window for one of our other pals up in here. I saw he came in here for a second. I wonder why he did, but hey, you know, it's okay. He's probably got some caveman stuff to do. I understand. Out of all people, I understand. Alright, so we're gonna do that. Okay, now that we've bottom, top, side. Move my sharp tools out of the way because I ain't want to have an accident. No sir. No sir, not today. Not today, Satan. Oh, ha, ha. Wait a minute. There we go. making sure they're dry enough. ¿Sabes qué? I need to move that just a smidgen. There we go. A smidgen. ¿Quién habla así, güey? Okay, so it's important that we give that one enough space for it to catch the other guy. Move this to the side over here. What I'm going to use these popsicle sticks for is I need to press this and try and get it to stay flat, straight up. There we go. And there we go. Tantillo, a smidgen. Where'd that go? There we go. I'm just saying, fool, this came out fucking pretty, wait. Okay. So here we go with this side stick. Gotcha. Alright, and now we just need to glue our top piece. Odio ese. Eso, olor. Okay, and now we've spruced this baby up. Can you see that? Tell me you appreciate that. Gwen! What? Aw, it's Gwenski. Alright, so there we go. I added some more depth to it, gave it another frame. I'm more satisfied with this window than I was earlier. I'm glad that I gave it the chance to grow. I think it looks much better in this fashion. Mira, el fashion, watcha. Alright, So we did this project in about 2 hours. It probably would have been done sooner if I had planned for, you know, this extra steps that I added. But yeah, I think it looks great. I feel like I can make more of these, and then the next ones that I'll make will be a lot easier and faster. And this way, when I add this paper back here, not the paper, I'm sorry, when I add this plastic to it, it's gonna look so much better. Oh, okay. And it does not want to be handled yet because that is not dry. So let's just push it all the way down again so that everything's aligned. There we go. Got a little excited there. Anyways, once this dries and I paint it, I can add this plastic to the back. I don't want to paint it with the plastic there because then it'll get paint on the plastic, and obviously nobody wants that. But I'm thinking of either of a white or a black, just to, you know, keep it basic. But this is the window we made today. I want to pick this guy up, but I can't because I gotta let this dry. And obviously, you know, you can always keep adding stuff, but I think I'm satisfied with where it's at right now. There's a distinct difference from this side to the other. You can definitely call one the top and the other the bottom, up to the person. I just want it to be, you know, just to look a little bit different. And honestly, we can always keep adding layers to this, but I won't because it's fine where it is. It's totally fine. Alright guys, I'm going to end the live on Roku TV. Just again, as a quick reminder to everybody, thank you for joining me on Roku TV, YouTube channel, mydiytv.com, or here on TikTok. You can find me on all platforms under Cave Art Adventures, or find me under Taven the Caveman, whichever one you know me as. I'm sure you'll be able to find me. I'm not too far away from a few clicks on the internet, so thank you again for joining me. Roku World, you've been awesome. Everybody else, you guys know what you are. You're awesome people. 100% awesome. So have a great time. I might not be here next week because I'm going to be doing some remodeling around here in the office. But we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm out.